Hi everyone, welcome to my video. In this video I want to just repot a plant and show you how to do that. I just bought this beautiful black prince succulent from a nursery, and it's a really cool plant because if you actually look inside it or through it, they're sort of like, I guess for lack of a better word, kind of like a Siamese plant. It's not like just an independent rosette and another independent rosette growing out from it. It's actually kind of crested from the center. And so these are kind of like fused together, for lack of a better word. And so when you purchase a succulent from, or any sort of indoor plant from a nursery or at a garden or wherever, you might want to actually repot it. And part of the reason for that is because you might actually have some sort of insects inside a plant, and you might want to take the step to do this before potential, I guess, plant pathogens or insects kind of make their way into your own indoor collections. And I personally know how annoying it is to kind of get rid of all those plants. So what you want to do with this is that you want to sort of gently shake out the plant. I'm going to give the container a little bit of a squeeze here to kind of release the plant a little. And I just got this succulent today, and so they actually had already gone ahead and watered the plant before I got to it. But I'm just going to slowly, kind of gently break apart the soil like this. And just keep doing that until you are basically just exposing the root. So I managed to get as much of the soil off, but because it's already wet to begin with, the soil is really clumped over, and I would actually recommend just waiting for the soil to dry out a little bit, but I'm a little bit impatient, to be honest. So I have a container of water, and I'm just going to gently put the succulent into soil to kind of help break up and loosen any soil there might be around the root. And you can actually kind of see that a little bit more of the roots here being exposed as the soil is kind of breaking off. And so and part of the reason why I prefer at this point in time just kind of rinsing the root system a little bit is because or rather, instead of breaking off the soil, so that I don't actually break the roots as I'm trying to get to it. So that looks pretty good so far. There's still some pretty big chunks, but I think I'm gonna just kind of stop there now. I'm also just kind of gonna give an inspection on the underside, which is a little bit hard when it's planted in a pot like this, and just kind of give it a good look to see that there's nothing really hiding underneath it. And so let me just move that. So there's nothing really hiding underneath it. Sometimes it's hard for you to see any insects, but there are some insects that really like being on the underside and in between the leaves over here. So I don't really see any of that, so I think we are good to go. So I'm just going to brush off some of the old soil here and into my pot. So in this glass container, I don't really have any drainage hole, so I got some nice rocks from the aquarium store. And so this is just leftover rocks from an old project. And so I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple and put them into the container. They're going to help for drainage. I have a couple of beach rocks that I found too. I'm going to add that to the pile. And I actually kind of like having the bigger rocks on the inside, unless they're really pretty or something. And then just kind of gently pushing the other rocks up against the side of the container so you can actually see them. Because once you have the soil in there, you're not going to see all those rocks. So I'm going to just kind of fill out the edges. That's looking okay. So I have some pre-made succulent soil, and I'm just going to go ahead and gently dump that in. And break that up. Just kind of gently press that in like so. Okay, so what I have here is a chopstick, a good old regular Chinese chopstick. And I just kind of wrapped a thick rubber band at the bottom to kind of help press and also kind of form a little hole for me whenever I need. So before I actually get into that, I might need a little bit more soil. So there we are. So the succulent soil is from a local store nearby where they pre-make it themselves, and it's pretty cost effective. Most of the time it's not really, but this one is. And so I'm just going to gently kind of press around the edges to kind of give to kind of really help the settle soil, the soil settle. Because sometimes when you water the soil, if the soil isn't really pressed or is not leveled, then you kind of get your plants might sink to one side more than the other, or everything, the soil just looks lopsided. And so it looks okay so far. And you can see here, just because it's a glass container, there's a little air pocket there, so I'll try to press it a little further there. Just give it a good shove. I'm just gonna pick it up and rotate it again, and there's my little rock layer there. Okay, it's looking pretty good, at least along the sides. And so I'm gonna use my little chopstick to kind of really press down on the bottom like so. And another reason why I like using this chopstick is so that I could actually kind of use it to measure. So it's up until the ball root should be kind of down there. That looks like I need to go a little deeper, but it looks okay. So I have to make the hole a little wider. And I'm just using the chopsticks to kind of push out the soil as well. And there we are, perfect fit. So, again, using the chopstick, I'm going to help the soil kind of press down around the plant. This is a really good way to kind of help get your plant to kind of settle in a little bit more. Again, with the chopstick, I'm just going to press along the edges. And it looks like I might need a little bit more soil around the edges. Now, if you don't have a chopstick or any, I guess, prodding stick in particular, you can always just use your finger, like what I'm doing here, because sometimes it's a little bit easier kind of getting along the edges. And this is a beautiful Echeveria. I think it's so cute, cool to look at. It's so pretty, and the colors are really great. From my understanding, and this admittedly will be my first Black Prince Echeveria, it will get darker, even though it's pretty dark already. It will get darker if you expose it to direct light more often, and if it's in a little bit more of a shady area, the center of it, like here, will just be a little bit more green. So here I am, just kind of filling it in around the edges. So I think that is okay in terms of soil. Might need a little bit more actually. And what I'm going to do is that I'm actually just going to press the edges, the soil around the edges along the side, because that's what you kind of end, because we're going to actually, or I'm going to rather, cover this with a little bit of top, I guess cover. I forget what's called right now, but there are little stones that you can add to the very top to kind of make it look prettier, or a little bit more put together. I'm also kind of going to try to gently kind of brush the soil off the leaves from earlier. I'm going to just make it nice and relatively straight. And really get into the corners there, because sometimes you get like little mounds of soil collecting at the corner. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead. So I have these pretty sparkly bits, and I got these from Ikea a while ago. And so I'm just going to gently kind of tap it into the side of the container where the plants are. And I really like these. These are really pretty. Nice and sparkly. And so there we are. So I'm just going to use this chopstick to kind of push off stuff. And so there you have it. I'm just going to gently kind of give this a little shake to help even out the little, I don't know what they are, but little plastic or recycled glass bits. And there you have it. Yeah, I have a new little pot for my little succulent. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one.